Okay, welcome everybody to Belvedere City Council regular meeting of June 3rd, 2024. If the clerk will help me out with the roll call, please.
Albertini,
Here.
Brereton,
Here.
Flurry,
Here.
Frank,
Here.
Freeman, Gramkowski. Gramkowski is absent. McGee,
Here.
Mulhall,
Here.
Snow. Snow is absent. Stevens,
Here.
8 present.
If you'll join me and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Lord, we thank you this evening for our country, community, our families, and for our freedom. And God, we pray and thank you for our current military service members and for the men and women veterans who have served throughout our nation's history. We pray that you bless them and their families for their undying sacrifice. We thank you for our police and fire, paramedic, first responders in our community and throughout our country, who bravely serve our citizens and respond no matter what the call. We ask for their well-being and that you bless them and their families as they continue to serve our communities. Tonight we pray for guidance, and you give each of us patience, compassion, understanding, wisdom, strength, and courage as we conduct our city's business here. We pray for these things in Christ's name, amen. All right, under public comment, we have John Albertini, Alderman Albertini.
Thank you, sir.
It looks like it's about Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, it'll be a brief statement. The new Dunkin' Donuts will be opening soon. I see everything's going in. Everybody's happy that it's going to be there. I am too. My concern was months and months ago when this first came about, I had asked about the influx of additional traffic to be at Chrysler Drive and Pearl, and was told that the exit from the Dunkin' Donuts would be back through the lot and out onto Pearl. This is not so. They'll be exiting onto Chrysler Drive. It's not mandated that they have to exit onto Pearl. They come out of the drive-through, go straight through the parking lot, and out onto Chrysler Drive. This is going to make a lot of extra traffic that I had brought up before, and I was told it wouldn't happen. Well, it's happening. The thing that we need to change is a few of the lights and signs at that intersection of Grant and Pearl. They've changed the configuration of turns on U.S. Grant going west on U.S. Grant coming up to Pearl. The left turn is now after the fact. After all the lights have turned red, the left turn on green turns, and they make the left to go on to Pearl, going south. The people coming east on Grant doesn't realize this is happening, and they already don't stop for the right turn on red to begin with, and these people proceed to make their left greens, and they come, and there's a T. I mean, they're almost slamming into them. Grant, there's been no accidents yet, but it's only going to be a matter of time. The other problem is with the influx of coffee mongers who want their coffee in the morning and are going to be frustrated until they get it, there's going to be a mad hurry to get in there. This is only going to hamper the traffic at Chrysler, Grant, and Pearl. I reiterate that I believe that we need no right turns on reds off of Grant going in both directions, but mostly going east on Grant on the Pearl. This can only help to facilitate the traffic and the public safety. If we could somehow figure this out, I'd be appreciated. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I do know that we're well aware, I've been well aware of traffic at that intersection. I think Mr. Anderson has too. We've talked about potentially coming up with having a portion of that moved back behind the mall back behind Fiesta Market. I think, when people are lined up to turn left and people are across to the west and they're going to turn right, I think that it's pretty designated as a turn lane when you're in that left lane. That's a separate lane. But I do agree that the traffic is going to be tough. However, I am well aware that we may be able to do better on that and may be able to move Chrysler Drive back to the south. It's not going to happen overnight by any means, but we'll go ahead and see what we can do with some of the traffic signaling that's out there, and maybe that'll make an improvement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Item 4, approval of the minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. Alderwoman Mulhall, please come up here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Council, I'm just going to take a few minutes of your time, so I appreciate it. As some of you may know, in November, like the day before or 2 days before Thanksgiving, I had a really bad sewer backup in my house. We took necessary precautions, called Roto-Rooter. They came out and did their whole thing and also did the cleanup. This is the third time it's happened at our house. I haven't come before council before asking for a reimbursement. This time it has been properly fixed by the city. It was on the terrace side. I'm going to just pass around just so you guys can take a look. This has been paid. We paid it already. This one can stay up here, Mike, for you three, but if you want to pass that down, you guys can look at that. And Sarah, could you maybe pass that to Clayton to go down that side? I have only one photo here, but this is a photo of the pipe, and I'll pass this around if you want to see it. The pipe, there's a huge hole in the sewer pipe, and that's kind of what happened. Brent's guys came out, tore it all up, fixed it. It's been fixed now since, I don't really know when they fixed it, but it's been fixed for a while. I just have not had a chance to speak to you about it. So I would, I think Sarah will have to put it on the agenda, obviously, but I would like to ask to get reimbursed for my expenses on this backup, since it was on the city side of this. If anyone has any questions, I can answer them. This is also the second time this has happened because of this pipe, and there was just kind of a miscommunication from the previous year, so it happened again, a miscommunication between Roto-Rooter and the city. Roto-Rooter said they were going to take care of it with the city, and that did not happen, and at the time, I didn't really know any better. I wasn't on council at the time, so I know a lot more now, but that's all, so. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Moving to item 4, approval of the minutes. We have approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the Belvidere City Council of May 20th, 2024 as presented. If I could have a motion to that effect, please. Motion by Alderman Fleury, thank you. Second by Alderman McGee, thank you. Any questions, any corrections on the minutes that you've had in front of you? Hearing none, all those in favor of the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion passed, thank you. Item 5, we have a public hearing this evening. And I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing, please.
You don't need a motion.
I don't?
No, just
Okay. All right, we will open the public hearing at 6:15. And the notice of the public hearing is on the vacation of a remnant alley south of East Lincoln Avenue and connecting North State Street to Municipal Lot 7. This has been published. The clerk has had this published. She submitted it on May 15th, 2024, and the Boone County Journal published this on May 16th of 2024. If there's any comments, any concerns regarding the vacation, It's open. Okay. Hearing none, we will close the public hearing at 6:16 PM. Thank you. We have item 6, special messages and proclamations. We have none. Item 7, approval of expenditures. We have none. Item 8, committee reports and minutes of city officers. Item A, approval of the minutes of the regular committee of the whole, Public Safety and Finance and Personnel, dated May 28th of '24, as presented. Could I have a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderwoman Frank, second by Alderman Fleury. Thank you both. Any corrections, any concerns regarding the minutes of the 28th? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And if there's any opposed, motion passed. Thank you. Item 9, under unfinished business, we have item A, ordinance 676H is in front of you for a second reading, that being an ordinance authorizing the sale of certain personal property, city vehicles. Could I have a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderwoman Mulhall, thank you. Second by Alderman McGee, thank you. Attached is Exhibit A regarding, these are out of the Public Works Department. There's an itemized list of these vehicles. As you can see, we get, Mr. Anderson is very frugal and gets, he gets a lot of mileage out of these vehicles. So we have a 1988 Mack utility truck with the associated VIN number ending in 1433. We have a 1991 GMC one-ton truck ending with the associated VIN number in 5793. We have a 2005 Ford F-250 pickup ending with the associated VIN number of 7459. We have a 1984 VACAL street sweeper, a 1991 Ford 1220 mower tractor, a 1989 Craftco cutter pavement, crack router, and a homemade leaf machine. So we have those items. If there's any questions, any concerns regarding the motion on the floor? All right, hearing none, all those in favor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Albertini?
Aye.
Brereton?
Aye.
Fleury?
Aye.
Frank? Aye. Freeman? Aye. McGee?
Aye.
Mulhall?
Aye.
Stevens?
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. Item B, 9B, we have ordinance 677H in front of you for a second reading, that being an ordinance approving a replat, titled Replat of Lots 26 and 27 of Deer Hill Subdivision Plat 1. In front of you, you have an attachment that shows the subdivision, and if I could get a motion to that effect, we'll move into discussion, please. Motion by Alderwoman Mulhall, thank you. Second by Alderman Fleury, thank you. Any questions, any comments? Alderman Albertini?
Thank you, Mayor. The reason for these two lots to be consolidated, is it for one person to eventually own, or because it's two owners, why are we consolidating these two lots?
One lot owner will own both lots, and they want to expand their backyard and make little pool and things like that.
Okay, so it will be a one-owner lot then?
Two owners, yes, it is one owner lot. It's a couple.
Okay, thank you very much.
We have done that in the past, so
I just wanted to understand what it was being done for, and now I'm clear on it. Thank you.
understand, thank you. Any other questions or comments on the motion on the floor? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Brereton?
Aye.
Fleury?
Aye.
Frank? Aye. Freeman? Aye. McGee?
Aye.
Mulhall?
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And we have item C, ordinance 678H, in front of you for a second reading this evening. That being an ordinance granting a special use to allow in-vehicle sales or service, automatic car wash, and indoor commercial entertaining, bar with video gaming within the general business district located at 1125 North State Street. If I could have a motion to that effect, please. Motion by Alderman McGee, second by Alderman Fleury. Thank you both. The applicant I see is in the audience here this evening. Mr. Gunstein, is that right? That is correct. Welcome. Questions? Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you, Mayor. So Gina, is this the same people that have been trying to do this for a long time, that have gotten a lot of extensions on their special use, and now they're just starting over from the beginning?
It is the same applicant. At one point, there was an LLC that kind of got switched around, but primarily the same applicant. And I know he is prepared to speak about the delays in the past tonight if you want him to.
I was just wondering if, this is all familiar to me, and we have granted several extensions, and then now this just seems to be an application for it, so it's not another extension, it's starting from scratch. So, yeah, I was just inquiring about that.
You are correct. Thank you. Anybody else? Does anybody have any questions for the applicant? If not, I won't have him come forward, but unless he wants to.
I would definitely like to address a couple of items.
Come on up. Just state your name, please.
Here,
Right here. Thank you. Good evening.
good evening. Dan Gunstein, 1069 Union Court, Bartlett, Illinois. Thank you, council. I wanted to come here tonight, and I tried to do it in the previous meeting, but I understand it was the first reading. So I wanted to address the delays that were compounded over the last several years of this project. As stated, the Plan Commission, we intended to start this project immediately after purchasing it, and we had our first delay was there was an existing tank in the ground that the EPA had to be involved for us to remove the tank. So that caused us to delay. And then obviously I don't want to use the excuse of COVID, but it was the start of the compounding of some of the turmoil that transpired. The cost of our construction for this project originally went from $4 million, and right now we're at $5.5 million. So we're investing we would like to invest $5.5 million into this village, into this site. The interest rates compounded with the cost of building construction deemed it hard to do this project and have a return on our investment. So what we did was, I know you guys heard this before when we had our extension that came before you, but because we were able to reapply, we were able to revise the building, which I think we have done a really good job of working with your staff and making the building more modern to fit today's building standards and what you're more commonly seeing within like McDonald's and the Aldi's that's adjacent to that. We feel that the new design with the input of staff, we've added awnings, windows, pitched roofs, and during this process, we had the fortunate opportunity to add a retail space. Car washes generally don't generate sales tax, but retail does. And we felt that that was a good addition to this village, having a retail space adjacent to it. So the cost, like I said, the cost to build went to $5.5 million, $5.4 million roughly. The changes that we made, we don't feel had affected any of the quality of the overall building elevation or any of the operations. If any of you have ever seen any of my operations before, we keep everything pristine, landscaping, snow removal, clean up everything. But again, the delays were compounded with the cost of building and the interest rates. Currently, the interest rates are sitting somewhere around 8%, and when we started this project, the SBA portion was 3% for 20 years. One last part of the change was I had to change the LLC because my former partner on the project got diagnosed with cancer and decided that he did not want to be part of this project. So I bought him out of the site. We changed the ownership of the LLC, and it kind of delayed things a little bit longer, both from a credit standpoint as well as the partnership. We currently have our financing in line. We're prepared to start construction if we are approved within the next 60 to 90 days, as soon as our permit is approved. And I'm available for any questions you have. There was one item that was brought up in the Plan Commission, and I just wanted to address it. Over the last several years, you guys have cut the grass for us because we couldn't find somebody to cut this sliver of grass that adjoins the streets. I've paid you guys, I paid the village every single time. I've never not paid. We since now have found somebody to cut the grass, but I just wanted to let you know that it was in the realm of trying to find somebody to do it. It was almost easier to have the village do it and pay for the few times a year that it needed to be cut. So I wanted to address that because it was brought up a couple times in the previous meeting. So, and again, I appreciate you guys letting us look at bringing this forward to you guys again, and I'm here if you have any questions.
Any questions for the applicant? Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you again. So I don't know how many video gaming licenses we still have available, if any, but if you're unable to get that, are you still going to go forward with a liquor license
I am.
and putting in a bar
I'm
even
actually,
without that?
yeah, so I operate the car wash, and we are looking at leasing this to a Mexican restaurant that is pretty successful, and if so be, and we can get the gaming license, that would be a plus to it. But yes, we are planning to still move forward with it. If for some reason somebody wants to move in there that's not a restaurant, I would say we'd come back before you guys and hopefully make that change to something that is permitted, a retail store or something like that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Gunstein? All right, well, I can certainly, Mr. Gunstein, I certainly appreciate your issues with the price of money these days. I know that with the price of inflation and the price of interest, everybody's been feeling that effect, and I can understand why you would be no different. I want to thank you for coming here this evening, and also wish your former partner, wish him well.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have ordinance 678H in front of us. If there's no other questions, all those in favor of the motion will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay? As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank. Aye. Freeman. Aye. McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed. Thank you. Thank you. We have, flipping the page, we have item D, ordinance 679H in front of you for a second reading this evening. If I could have a motion to that effect, please. Motion by Alderman McGee, thank you, and a second. Anybody? Second by Alderwoman Frank, thank you both. That being an ordinance vacating an alley generally located south of East Lincoln Avenue, connected north State Street to parking lot 7 in the city of Belvedere. We have some property that actually does the city no good whatsoever as well. We have vacated a piece of property to an owner, a business owner, that had taken advantage of that. So it takes off some of the maintenance from the city, and it would certainly be more beneficial for that business owner to have that. Gina, did you have anything that you wanted to add? If there's any questions, any comments? Okay. All right, thank you. All those in favor of the motion on the floor will, when your name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Frank. Freeman. McGee.
Aye.
Mulhall.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Albertini.
Aye.
Brereton.
No.
Flurry.
Aye.
7 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And moving on, item 10, new business. We have item A, ordinance 670H in front of you for first reading this evening. That being an ordinance vacating portions of Morium Drive and Crosslink Parkway. That will be back to you in 2 weeks. We also have item B, Resolution 2024-8, a resolution for maintenance in the amount of $800,000 under the Illinois Highway Code. And in your packet, there's a copy regarding the $800,000 for maintenance from IDOT. And if I could have a motion to that effect, please. Motion by Alderwoman Frank and a second by Alderman Stevens. Thank you both. Any questions, any comments regarding the motion on the floor? Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you. So, Director Anderson, since I've been here, this number year after year always seems to be right around the same ballpark figure. How do we get to this number every year without inflation as far as stuff costing more? Or how do you get to that number?
So in this case, this year, it's a little bit less than what we've done traditionally in the past, and that's because I included the cost of the Newburgh overlay, which is currently being worked on right now, is included in the overall overlay projects that we're doing for the year, but it's accounted for separately because we were awarded STBG grant funds to pay for a portion of that cost. So if you take our portion of the cost of Newburgh and add it to this $800,000, that comes up to about $1.2 million. And we used to do about $800,000, $900,000, and right now we're up to that about $1.1, $1.2 million. So we have increased over time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any comments? Okay. Hearing none, we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve Resolution 2024-8, that being a resolution for maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code in the amount of $800,000. All those in favor of the motion will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Freeman. McGee.
Aye.
Mulhall.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Albertini.
Aye.
Brereton.
Aye.
Flurry.
Aye.
Frank. 8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And next, we have motions forwarded from Committee of the Whole, Public Safety, Finance and Personnel of May 28, 2024. Motions out of Public Safety. Chairwoman Freeman.
Thank you, Mayor. A, motion to purchase a 2004 GMC Sierra 2500 HD pickup truck from Kunis Auto Group at a cost of $60,996.03. This vehicle will be paid for from the Water Depreciation Fund, number 04-09.
All right, thank you. We have that motion out of committee. Is there any questions regarding the motion on the floor? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of the motion will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed? Please answer nay as the clerk calls the roll, please.
McGee.
Aye.
Mulhall.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Albertini.
Aye.
Brereton.
Aye.
Flurry.
Aye.
Frank. Freeman. 8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And item B, please.
B, motion to approve the bid from Pace Analytical Services for the groundwater monitoring at Belvedere Municipal Landfill Number 1 from July 2024 until August 2025 in the amount of $12,920.
Okay, we have that motion out of committee. Is there any questions regarding the motion on the floor? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank. Freeman. McGee,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And item C, please.
C, motion to approve the bid from Pace Analytical Services in the amount of $76,445.80 for the groundwater monitoring at Belvedere Municipal Landfill Number 2 for 2 years, beginning with October 24, sampling period.
Okay, we have that motion out of committee. If there's any questions or concerns regarding the motion on the floor? Now's the time. Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the floor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Stevens,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank. Freeman. McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And item D, please.
D, motion to approve the proposal from Midwest Agri-Systems in the amount of $141,699 for the repairing the fire-damaged building at the street department. This work will be paid for from line item 01-5-310-6010 and reimbursed by insurance.
Okay, thank you. We have that motion out of committee. If there's any questions or concerns regarding the motion on the floor, Alderwoman Freeman.
Thank you. So we're going to pay this out of pocket. Do you know about how long it will take for the insurance to reimburse that, or have they already gave us the money?
We've already received a portion of it, and then when we finish out, they'll do the balance.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this was by far and away the lowest bid. Any other questions or concerns regarding the motion on the floor? All right, hearing none, all those in favor will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank. Freeman. McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And item E?
E, motion to waive the bidding requirements for the cost of repairs to the wastewater treatment plant thickening centrifuge.
Okay,
I would
we-
make the motion that we waive that.
Motion to waive, yes, we have motion to waive the bidding requirements.
You need a second.
Yeah, a second, thank you. All right, if there's any questions, any comments regarding the motion to waive?
So who is the second?
Alderman Stevens. Alderman Fleury, you have a question?
No, he was, the motion, I was second.
Oh, I thought, you read it, correct? Yeah, you read it, you seconded it. You seconded it. Okay. All righty. Any questions regarding waiving the bidding requirements for the cost of repairs at the wastewater treatment thickening centrifuge? Hearing none, all those in favor of waiving the bidding requirements, will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay. As the clerk calls the roll, please.
Brereton,
Aye.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank. Freeman. McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And item F, please.
F, motion to approve the proposal from Centricis for factory repairs to the thickening centrifuge at the wastewater treatment plant at a cost not to exceed $45,484.90. This work will be paid for from the sewer depreciation account, number 61-1790.
All right, thank you. We have that motion out of committee. Is there any questions regarding the motion on the floor? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion will, when their name is called, answer aye. Any opposed, nay, as the clerk calls the roll, please.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank. Aye. Freeman. Aye. McGee,
Aye.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Stevens,
Aye.
Albertini,
Aye.
Raritan,
Aye.
8 in favor.
Motion passed, thank you. And that is all we have on the agenda for this evening. If I could get a motion to adjourn, please. Motion by Alderwoman Frank, and a second, second. Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you. So at last Monday's meeting, I thought you had indicated you were going to talk to the Rock River Disposal people and maybe have an update for us. I think people watching are curious.
I can give an update for that. As you recall, there was a motion made at committee, or actually a motion made at the time of the agreement, and I believe the motion stated to have an opt-out, which was pretty clear. That motion failed. That motion was voted down 7-3. So there is no opt-out regarding that. However, I will say this, that we have had some senior citizens that have had trouble negotiating their containers, their waste containers. We have been able to help them in a couple different ways. One, we've been able to have the recycle container, if it's small enough for people to negotiate it. We've been able to have that used, replaced with a brown lid so that they can use that as a refuse instead of a recycle. As well, there have been individuals that that is too big for them to move, negotiate, and for those folks, which isn't a lot, but the hauler, Rock River, will take their garbage and their recycle in either a bag, as they always have. I do think, and I want to say this, that it's kind of like the health insurance that we've had. There isn't any individualized health plan. I mean, everybody would like one, but unfortunately, that's not the way it is. And with the waste hauling in this community, when we started out on this, I had asked for requests for proposals so that we could see the price of garbage hauling in Belvedere and every other community had went up 100% in 4 years. And I've stated many times, those other communities from Roscoe, Rockton, Loves Park, Rockford, Marengo, DeKalb, Sycamore, South Beloit, those communities, they have one franchise hauler, and they were quite a bit less expensive than what we were doing here in Belvedere. So I don't think by any means we reinvented the wheel by going out and doing this. What we did do is we saved the taxpayers. As a matter of fact, after we approved the franchise agreement, some of the haulers raised their prices $17 for waste hauling. So the cheapest one, I think, was $131. And by comparison, and that would be if you're a senior, by comparison, it's $22.35 a month, so it's $67.05. So there's significant savings, more than, or almost half, almost 100% savings. So we have been able to diminish the cost for the residents. Now, not everybody is going to be happy, just like the health care. We have a plan, and the plan didn't suit certain individuals, but we did the best we can. But overwhelmingly, the majority of people, the council had felt we're going to save a significant amount of money, and they did, and they will. The other thing is, with the past 4 years at 100% cost increase, with this contract, we've negated the inflationary rate that was 100% over 5 years, and we've lowered that to 17.5% over 5 years. And that was 100% over 4 years was the increase that we had seen. Now, there are many individuals in the community that are either at Four Seasons or our other home park. And they pay significantly less as well. And there's a reason for that, because they don't have 4 or 5 haulers. They have one franchise with one hauler that comes out there and hauls their waste. And so, in fact, by approving this contract, we've given the rest of Belvedere residents the same savings that some of our residents have out at Greenview and Four Seasons. And but we have tried to answer the questions regarding some of the residents that are going to have trouble, but it's a one size. In order to be able to get the savings when you bid these, you have to bid it out as a franchise that everybody partakes in. Last week, we had one individual that came here, and I didn't say it at the time, but they were hauling garbage. Well, even before this franchise agreement, we have to license our waste haulers. They weren't licensed, and so they were actually in violation regardless of what we did here. So I think we need to be, we need to concentrate on the best part of this is that probably 98 or 99% of the people are going to, not only are they going to save money, they're also going to be able to make sure that their household income doesn't go towards more garbage service funding or money out of their wallet. And I think in that respect, especially for everybody on a fixed income and everybody who has felt the wrath of inflation. You heard Mr. Gunstein earlier say not only the price of being able to borrow money with interest rates, but you also heard him say the price of buying material, the price of everything. So in this case, the city of Belvedere actually, probably one of the only times that I can think of, has saved residents money on their bill, much like some of the mobile home residents enjoy. And very few times, I think, can you say that, unless somebody here can mention when government on a local, state, or federal level has ever been able to save residents or taxpayers money. I can't think of any. Anybody? Okay.
I don't
So,
see-
let me finish.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you
Please?
were done.
No,
My
I
apologies.
thought maybe you were going to answer my question.
My apologies.
So, I do think that it is a great savings, and there might be some hiccups. There might be a little bit of trouble before it all gets organized, but we'll get it. And the overwhelming majority of people are going to save money instead of throwing it away in the trash can. So, Alderman.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to make a statement that I don't always look forward to comparing Greenview and Four Seasons because of their owners. Everything they do is very high priced. The only thing I can commend them on, and I'm quite surprised, is we pay at the two parks $14 a month for garbage. And I was wondering why we couldn't negotiate the same thing for the entire city if these people could negotiate this they're from the same company, MDC. We pay $14 a month.
Well, we put out requests for proposals, Alderman, and that's the bids that we received, and you voted against it anyhow. So, yeah. So we did do the best we can, and those requests for proposals come in. I couldn't change them. Nobody could change them. but that's what they were. So with that being said, rather than a $131 bill over the quarter, a lot of people will have a $67 one, and those that don't will pay $9 more than that and have a, $86 bill versus 131. And it may have been more, and it was more than that. It was more than that with other haulers. So I want to thank the council. I want to thank, believe me, it's not easy, but keep in mind, all the other communities do this for a reason. Belvedere, when I looked at this, I thought, is Belvedere the only one that doesn't do this, and is that right? Is there a reason why we don't? Am I missing something? Is there a reason why we don't do it? No, there's not. No, it's just that we've never done it, and now we have, and residents are going to save. So that's my update. Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you. So I'm not going to argue with you. This is already a done deal, so it's pointless. I do want to set the record straight on a couple things. $131, I don't know where you get that number at because my garbage bill was $103. Nor has it gone up 100% in the last 4 years. So I just wanted to set that record straight.
Any other comments? Any other questions? Alderman McGee?
Yeah, thank you. I know Alderman Burton, his opt-out motion that failed, is my understanding that that was to opt out to be able to allow other carriers do the waste hauling. And then in that same meeting, I know Alderman Snow asked the city attorney about the opt-out as far as can a constituent opt out and take their own garbage in their pickup truck to the landfill themselves, and I was wondering if Mr. Drella would address that.
The motion from Alderman Brereton, that's one of the things I tried to clarify, did not specify what version of the opt-out. I kind of took it that he meant, basically said was not to participate, was the way he described it. The question we've been getting is not where they can take it to the dump themselves. The question we've been getting is, I want to dump it in my son's garbage bin at his business. I want my son to come pick it up and drop it in his garbage. I want what have you. Not a single one has said we want to take it to the dump ourselves. We had one gentleman come in here that indicated, I think he spoke a week or two ago, that said, well, he picks it up for his, I believe his sister or sibling, his mother or somebody else, and he takes it all to the dump. Well, at that point, he's actually violating our own code by providing a garbage service, whether or not he's getting paid for it. He's acting as a residential refuse hauler. You cannot, and that's why it's very careful the way I phrase it, you cannot take your garbage and put it in somebody else's dumpster or garbage can, whatever else you want to call it. That is not allowed under the current franchise, nor even under the previous rules of the city, because quite frankly, it probably violated the other customer's contract with the garbage hauler, because they contracted to haul Mr. Drella's garbage, not Mr. Drella's and Mr. Morris's garbage. So, no, the question, could they take it to the dump, is not the question we've been getting from constituents. The question is twofold. One, my son, my neighbor, whoever, takes my one bag of garbage a week and takes care of it for me, and that's not allowed. The other question I've been getting is, I've been running a business out of my house, and I've got a dumpster, I just want to use that. Well, what they didn't realize when they called us was we don't allow dumpsters in residential neighborhoods like that, except for the case like a roll-off, when you're working in your house. So they're violating that code already, and the people that called actually didn't have home occupation permits either. So they're violating that ordinance as well. They kind of talked themselves into us knowing about their violations, but, so I don't know if that answers your question.
It really doesn't. What if there's a resident that does not want to participate and calls Rock River and says, come pick up my cans? I am going to take my garbage to the dump myself.
I know Rock River's position on it, that would not be permitted. The contract is not specifically clear on that. From a practical standpoint, my understanding is it would actually cost you more on a monthly basis to landfill it yourself than have Rock River do it. because there's a minimum charge for dumping at the dump. So from a practical standpoint, I don't know if the question would actually really ever arise.
I believe the minimum dump is $100, I think, at the landfill, if you go take your stuff. And the other point that I wanted to make is, I think, for the record, I think we have an alderwoman who's not here this evening, and she had mentioned publicly and told me that her garbage service with one of the haulers was $144, so over the quarter. So, and they also, well, that's what she said. Yes, that's what she said. And
That just sounds like she.
well, I don't care what it sounds like.
She
I'm just
doesn't
telling you, that's what it
advocate
is.
for herself and try to find, like, just because she didn't want to get off the couch and call around and find a cheaper service, that's,
Well, put
you
it
can't
into,
compare that. Mine's 103.
let's put it into perspective then. Yours is 103, and now it's going to be what, 66? I think that puts it into perspective.
That's not worth losing my right to choose my garbage company and have the government do that for me. That's a priceless thing to me.
Well, here's the rest of that story then, as long as we're talking about it. I think we should talk about it, is that, my position and the position of the aldermen and women that are here is, if you can find a savings for the 4,000 plus, maybe close to 5,000 residents, and have a significant cost savings for them, I would say that represents the overwhelming majority. You may represent the minority, and I've had 34 or 35 calls regarding that, but I do believe that my job here, and I think that the council decided their job, is to represent the overwhelming majority. They're going to see a significant cost savings on this, and that's how it works. Once again, that's how it works. We try and do the best we can. It's not individual, as I had said before, it's not individual health care. The city health insurance plan, we would like to do something different, and even when we approved the new Humana Healthcare, that wasn't a slam dunk by any means either, but we did the very best we can. In this respect, it saved the city over $200,000. In this aspect, it's going to save anybody who is using this service, it's going to save them almost 100% on their bill, not counting any of the inflationary rate that the other 3 or 4 haulers would have and had implemented. So I think that speaks for itself, but is there any other comments? Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, we have a motion to adjourn, is that right? Or no?
Yes, by Frank and second by Freeman.
Okay. Anything else? All right, hearing none, all those in favor to adjourn, please say aye.
Aye.
And anybody want to stay? For the record, we adjourned at 6:59 PM. Thank you, everybody.